guys, it's me, Iryna, your self-love and relationship expert. Welcome to the safe world where healthy relationships start from self-love and the episode number 6 of the Hollywood Healing Podcast under the name How Not to Give Up Yourself in a Relationship. And today I have 3 nominees. They are star celebrities, of course. And number 1, it's Maria Callas. When we think about her biography, we think about the best worldwide soprano. And she was on the height of her career and she fell in love after the divorce, or meanwhile, with the wealthiest man ever, Aristotle Onassis. And guess what? Her love was so deep that she never mentioned that she gave up her life and career for him, but she did. And we all know about it. Recently, it was a movie dedicated to her where Angelina Jolie played the main role. And how she trained before her death to return her voice back, and how upsetting it was for her to find out later on that despite all that mutual reciprocal love between those two, Onassis was married to Jacqueline Kennedy because of her style, because of her societal position, and many things. But Maria still visited him in the hospital and stayed his lover and love of his life until the last breath and the last moment. The second nominee is Whitney Houston. Her nickname is The Voice. Absolutely love her, and when you think about America, you probably think about Whitney, but we all know the influence of Bobby Brown was horrible and destructive for her and ruined her life, especially including the drug addiction that became the base of her being for a while, and that's how she passed away. That's why she disappeared from this planet, and everybody after her death judged him very much. And of course, he didn't take those disagreements in society about her death. He didn't feel any guilt, but everybody knows that he was a big part of that because he was the one who introduced her to heavy drugs, probably because she knew what light drugs since her childhood. And unfortunately, in this case, my previous podcast was dedicated to the addiction. This is the battle you have to win, and she didn't win this battle. She passed away and she lost her at the age of 50 in the bathroom when she combined drugs with a glass of wine. So think twice since you do that type of combination. Think twice since you decide to make yourself so poor, because the only thing you're doing while using drugs is giving away your beautiful energy. And she was the voice of the planet, and she was extremely talented. But we know, being with Bobby Brown, she gave away a lot of tours, she canceled a lot of concerts. We don't know it was because of him, because of their unstable relationship, because of jealousy, because of disagreements they had, or because of drugs themselves. I think it was a mix of feelings. And nominee number 3 is Grace Kelly. I used to live in Monaco. I had my well-being company there for a few years, and I know Monaco quite well. And I have to tell you, the main avenue of this place is named of Grace Kelly, after Grace Kelly, because she was stunning, she was beautiful, she was incredible, she was doing fantastic things for the charity. And she was initially an American Oscar-winning actress, and she gave up her career because she became, from Hollywood star, she became the wife of Rainier Hua Prince, and she did what she had to do, and she died very early. So all those people who gave up their lives or their careers, I suggested you 3 cases of 3 talented and very well-known women. It doesn't mean there is any gender discrimination. Maybe there are some men who given up their life as well in sake of love, but I think when you love somebody, you don't need to sacrifice. Maybe when you love somebody as a child, you have not to sleep nights because you have to take care of your baby. Yes, that type of sacrifice is accepted. When your beloved one got sick and you have to go to the hospital, and maybe you have a lack of sleep or lack of self-care, maybe that sacrifice can take place. But in a healthy, stable relationship, you don't need a sacrifice. And especially when your chosen one, or your better half, or your second half, as people like to say, and I don't believe it that. I believe that every personality is whole, but I know why people call it that way, because it's kind of biblical explanation that woman was created from the half of the man, or the side of the man, or the rib of the man, because there is no exaggeration of that. So your chosen one would never ever stand between you and your calling, between you and your purpose. Of course, if you know what you're doing in life, what you're meant to do on this planet. Why? Because otherwise he will cross your relationship with God. There is a higher spirit, your intuition, God, universe, you can call it whatever. You And those type of relationship, they're vertical. All the other relationship with your mother, father, brother, husband, wife, child, they are all horizontal. So never let any person who is in your surrounding from your horizontal relationship take the place of God and your higher spirit and go in the first place, because you're ruining yourself at this second. And the universe will ask you, so I send you on this planet to create beauty, to share the light, to sing, to create art, or whatever you're doing, whatever your mission is. And you're so weak that you can't stand for your mission, for your calling, for the idea of God, you to be here. Yes, of course. If you think Whitney Houston passed away, Grace Kelly passed away. So Maria Callas, she had a longer life, but she passed away in a very bad way because she to be a drug addict, but she had to do a lot of medicine to be mentally stable. So think twice if you're ready to give up your special gift and your mission on this planet, because I think would be maybe not a punishment, but some kind of comeback. And don't forget to download my app, Self-Help and Self-Love app, Gemini Me, with a revolutionary 24/7 support, Iryna AI. And of course, learn to love yourself and trust the process. Subscribe to my blog and put comment under this video.